Now the UFOs are no longer going to Ohio. Now they're going somewhere even less likely. The Ohio of the tri-state. Fucking New Jersey, man. Now let's get to these fucking drones, dude. Okay? Let's get to these freaking drones.
Millions of Americans have their eyes to the sky trying to unwrap a mystery. Ever since Thanksgiving, there have been thousands of reported drone sightings, mostly in the skies over New Jersey. Now those sightings have spread. Reports of flying objects have cropped up in half a dozen states in the Northeast, some even here in New York City. And now what was a curiosity.
I think this is amazing. I think this is amazing because, like, I feel like there's definitely, I assume that, like, there's probably some, like, I don't know, military defense contractors, like, testing out drones or whatever. Like, I'm sure the inception point here is, like, some real American technology, probably, okay? But it is hilarious how quickly peasant brain creates collective psychosis, okay? And now you have so much momentum on the story from people who personally think that every plane in the sky is actually a drone. And not just any drone, but drones that are coming from an Iranian mothership. This is a fantastic example of this. Woman on Facebook proudly reports how her husband shone a laser at a drone, which was actually FedEx Flight 3926 at 4,000 feet. This is complete madness. My husband and I saw one in West Milford about 11:57 p.m. It was very low flying and audible. My husband shined his sniper laser at it, and we watched before our own eyes. It went completely dark, and the sound ended abruptly. I know the time because I texted my best friend immediately after. It was a FedEx plane. New Jersey Democrat Senator Andy Kim was posting planes flying a Newark flight path. Last night we went out with local police to spot the drone flying over New Jersey. Here's what I saw. We drove to Round Valley Reservoir, and the officer pointed lights moving low over the tree line. Sometimes they were solid white light, others flashed of red and green. Now, the red and green light means that it's a FAA sanctioned flight, isn't it? That's just a plane or Santa Claus. We oriented ourselves with a flight tracker app to help us distinguish from airplanes. We often saw about 5 to 7 lights at a time that were low and not associated with aircraft we could see on the tracker app. Some hovered while others moved across the horizon. We saw a few that looked like they were moving in small clusters of 2 to 4. We clearly saw several that would move horizontally, then immediately switch back in the opposite direction and maneuver in ways.
The one low looks pretty close, right? So this one's gonna fly over us right now. You think so?
There are obviously actual drones, though. Just because people falsely report planes is irrelevant. Oh, make no mistake. That's why I said I suspect that the inception of the story came from, like, probably some fucking military technology. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it was a commercial drone or not, but I do think that I'm certain that there is some drones that people were like, what the is that? And it became a story. And not only did it become a story, but then it turned into this massive story when people were like, there's a lot of flying stuff ahead of us. There's so many goddamn flying shit. What the hell is going on? Interesting question here is, how did this become a massive story? Because I think America is very stupid. And while they're like, this is one of those incidents where, like, I think that there's a shit ton of drones because they're relatively cheap, chat. It's a very cheap thing to make, buy, purchase, a maneuver. It's relatively easy to operate. So, like, it could be a number of different things. It could be a number of different things. It could be commercial drones. It could be people around. It could be defense contractors testing out their new drones or whatever. But I think the broad reception of the story is partially because of our fascination with the unknown, and partially because, you know, there's Americans love this shit. They love this kind of conspiracy theory.
Is raising some alarm among some federal officials. Allie Bauman is here with more. Allie, good morning.
Good morning, Dana and Michelle. The FBI and Homeland Security Department have said these objects do not pose a threat to the public. In fact, some law enforcement officials believe
it's illegal to operate without a license. First of all, nobody gives a fuck about that. That's why I said it's cheap. It could be a prank. It could be someone with a lot of money and time on their hands. But there's also, I think that there's also real fears that this is something more ominous. But I think that the thing that is more ominous would be most likely just the American military, like defense contractors testing out their new toys. They are the size of cars. It's alien people. Okay. Or maybe that.
they aren't drones, but planes or helicopters that are being mistaken for unmanned aircrafts. But despite that, some high-ranking elected leaders are demanding answers to what the objects are and who's controlling them. In the dark of night, the number of reported drone sightings in at least 6 East Coast states is now more than 3,000 and counting.
We saw blinking, like lots of blinking things up in the sky to the south, right over the ocean.
In New Jersey, unexplained drone activity was reported above a naval weapons station, while farther north, the FAA ordered temporary flight.
Hey, cold snack, baby! How much have you looked into this? I was under the impression that this was thousands of industrial-side drones clearly visible as a drone. Everybody has seen them. Yeah, I don't understand it. Everybody says everybody's seen them, and yet all the footage that I have seen from independent sources are either like TIE fighters that they altered, okay, to make it seem like a real TIE fighter was like flying in broad daylight, or planes and shit, planes and helicopters. So I have not seen, like, while I love a good story like this, I love a good conspiracy, I have not seen any real like footage. I'm not seeing any real. Yeah, Larry Hogan saw stars and constellations and then said, these are drones. The stars at the 39-second mark are recognizable by the constellation Orion. From this, you can determine that the bright lights behind the trees are stars Sirius and Procyon. Like, I don't know. And yeah, this account that was deleted, we'll look at it as well in a second. But let's hear what the lamestream media narrative is first, okay? Let's hear what the lamestream media narrative is first. Let's see how they're lying to the American public while I go pee real quick.
Restrictions prohibiting drones over Picatinny Arsenal, where armament research is conducted, and over a Trump golf club.
There's one right above us.
But no one is sure how the oversized drones, some reported to be the size of cars, got there. At the White House, the National Security Communications Advisor offered this.
Many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
And a local sheriff seemed to discredit the credibility of a covert operation.
If they didn't put their lights on, no, they'd be looking, right? Right. And they're putting their lights so they want you to see.
But some politicians want to know more.
The fact that the federal agencies responsible for briefing the public have not come forward in a clear way is unacceptable.
Yesterday, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy wrote a letter to President Biden asking for federal resources to figure out what's going on. And senators from New York and New Jersey signed a joint letter to the FBI, FAA, and Department of Homeland Security.
If you don't know whose it is and who's flying it, you have to take it down.
Well, that sentiment from New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand echoed by President-elect Donald Trump. He posted on Truth Social that the government should let the public know what the objects are or shoot them down. Experts caution the public should not take matters into their own hands. Shooting down a drone or any aircraft is a federal crime. Michelle?
We certainly hope they get to the bottom of it. Allie, thank you.
All right, this is going right over us right now. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? A drone? Welcome to the New Jersey suburbs, where big, mysterious flying machines appear over our heads at night. All we know is they weren't all there before. They're loud. It is just nuts. They've been going in different directions. What are these aircraft? It continues to be a mystery. State and federal officials are investigating and say they don't pose a credible threat. But
you're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
And then this from a Pentagon spokeswoman.
At this time, we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary.
So no, we don't know what they are.
I think something that people need to remind themselves is that, like, I often talk about people in positions of authority and how when someone is in a position of authority, we automatically assume that they know what the fuck they're talking about or they're brilliant. Okay, that's how meritocracy works usually. And I need people to remember that just because someone is in Congress, speaking from a position of authority, does not change the reality that they can be an absolute moron. Okay, very important to understand. That's precisely the reason why I showed you Andy Kim, and that's why I showed you Governor Larry Hogan. Okay, like, you can still be an idiot just because you're a elected representative doesn't change that reality. Okay, now I do want to point to something here. I want to remind everyone how right I was in terms of the Chinese weather balloon story. And I think it's important to remember that I was right on the Chinese weather balloon story, because there were plenty of people who were yelling at me at the time saying this is inappropriate, that like we're being invaded by China. This is a deliberate attempt to destroy America. And at the time, the government literally used that to its advantage and very clearly leaned into that. This feels like you're gaslighting us, people from New Jersey. Some are planes, but most are drones. I wish people would send me actual video footage of the drones. Or even, Bubba. Oh, this is the Walmart delivery drone. This guy shot a Walmart delivery drone in Florida. This is a different guy. Anyway, this is what people are saying is a convincing argument that this account made, that the account got deleted. I don't know if it's convincing or not. I'm just going to read it. Okay. A whole thread of red and green light planes they're saying aren't planes law. Whoever's behind this, they seem totally unconcerned about being photographed and filmed, which makes it highly unlikely that they're secret military defense industry tech. Yeah, that's a commercial airliner. That's not a drone. There are dozens of SUV-sized drones flying over New Jersey on a nightly basis. More video. Another one very much looks like a plane, but it isn't. Wait, what? Sent in by a resident of Bergen County. In the video, I thought it was a plane, but after seeing the picture, I'm not so sure. It doesn't look like any passenger plane to me. What? What are you talking about? This is literally a plane. And then not only is it a plane, but it's also like, I suspect it's like digitally altered as well, because there's like certain points where you can kind of tell. Second night of drones flying over my house. This chat is perfect for the story because half of us have plane autism and we can clearly tell if this is or isn't a plane. Yeah. Planes come in various shapes, sizes, colors. Okay. They have different kinds of wings. Okay. And like a lot of the footage that I've seen are literally just straight up planes. And I've yet to see like, hey. Anne, çıkaracağım. Kaya, place. Not yet, Kaya. Fat ass. She got so fat, just like her daddy. I did some drones, I like legit ones, but it's easy to think they're all after you have to see a couple. While many of these look like larger versions of conventional drones or fixed-wing aircraft, some appear to be orbs. What? Nah, like the other part of the story is that some of these are like also digitally altered footage that is done. Is sold in a way like a Ring camera footage to make you think that this is like a real aerial phenomena. I'm sorry, dude. This is ridiculous. Some more orb activity in New Jersey. Truck driver caught on video orb UAP UFO. These are your people, New Jersey loser. This matches the videos I've seen and certainly helps explain the government's odd response. It's a Terradynamics XP4 Transwig drone. Note the stubby nose, straight side wings, and long tail due to forking fins, visible in the first Twitter X video post OP posted. It's being developed by the U.S. Navy as a recon and logistics drone capable of picking up and dropping off packages between land and moving ship, including in high seas and high winds. I mean, I don't know how valid that is either, but I'm more inclined to assume that it would be some kind of drone technology. Joint Staff statement from less than an hour ago, a spokesman from the Joint Staff acknowledged that there had been sightings of drones over 2 military installations in New Jersey, but said such sightings are typical. Yeah, in recent weeks, a number of drones have been sighted over New Jersey, prompting concern and thousands of telephone calls to report them. Some of those drones have even been sighted in the Picatinny Arsenal and Naval Weapons Station in Earl, both in New Jersey. During an on-background telephone call today, officials from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Department of Homeland Security, Federal Aviation Administration, and the Joint Staff provided comment and answered questions from reporters about the drone sightings. A spokesperson from Joint Staff acknowledged that there have been sightings of drones over 2 military installations in New Jersey, but said such sightings are typical. So either is the Department of Defense playing with new toys by way of defense contractors and they want to keep it under wraps. Maybe some part of it is that. Or there are people that have access to drones that are flying it over military bases for fun, or for whichever reason. Or there is a third, more nefarious thing that's happening, which is that the American government is woefully incompetent and is completely incapable of dealing with, drone surveillance technology in the form of drones that Iran or China or any number of foreign adversaries are engaging us with. Now, the reason why I don't think it's the third option, okay, and it's most likely a combination of 1 and 2, is because drones are very loud. Okay, especially large drones. And the reality of the matter is, if you were to use drones to surveil American military bases, a foreign adversary, they're fairly easy to take down. There are even new weapons that people have developed exclusively to take down drones. And not only that, but also it would be pretty simple and pretty easy to figure out which country's drones people are using. So that's the reason why I don't think that this is yet another instance of foreign adversaries spying on us openly. Okay? New Jersey State Police have said their anti-drone weapons are not working on these ones. I once again go back to what I have mentioned. There are numerous ways of surveilling American military bases. There are numerous ways to do it by way of utilizing the pre-existing telecommunication platform that is partially endlessly interceptable. New York Times Daily just recently did a report on how the Chinese government actually intercepted it incredibly successfully, just to make sure that they knew which Chinese nationals that were spying in the United States of America were caught and which were free of American suspicion. Now, I believe that to be true. Another way that our foreign adversaries could spy on us, outside of directly infiltrating our telecommunications, another way of spying on Americans is through satellites. Or even, Nelly ama baba dur ya. Dur bitireyim şunu ondan sonra söylerim. Okay, Kaya. Ne istiyorsun? Ekmek arası mı? Başka ne istiyorsun içinde? My dad is demanding I order him döner. Kitchen table'ın üstünde. Here's a conspiracy story. Fed used drones and information to test methods of inducing mass hysteria in the U.S. I mean, maybe. I could see that. The American government has in the past used unexplainable aerial phenomena as a mechanism to freak out the public. That is a very real and open psyop that the CIA is engaged with in countries where they wanted to interfere in the normal political process in. So that is something that we've done. But I'm not so certain. Here, let's finish this video and then I'll
But I do know a bit about them after spotting them, talking to residents and experts.
What is that?
Yes, some of the videos show aircraft that look like planes. And some of them definitely are regular planes. But experts who have seen the reported drone footage categorize it into two buckets: quadcopters and fixed-winged aircraft. I didn't see one of the quadcopters, but Melissa Pedersen in Chatham believes she did. In her footage, this object goes back and forth in the sky. Experts I showed it to said it did look like a drone. I've spoken to residents in a number of towns up and down the state, and many report seeing similar low-flying objects. What I saw did not look like that, but it did appear to be flying lower than a regular plane.
There we go. That is low. That's just hovering over something.
And there was a lot of activity in the air, far more than usual, and I didn't see a lot of that reported on flight tracking apps with FAA data. At a New Jersey briefing on Wednesday, officials said the drones fly for 6 to 7 hours at night. They believe they're coming in from over the water.
These are apparently very, as I understand it, very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark.
With all the attention in the state, many have taken to...
How? How would they know? How would the drone operator in the middle of the fucking night know that there are eyes on the drone? What? Someone in the chat said optical lasers or some shit. Like, that's not... Fuck, man. If they have IR cameras, they can see camera lenses. Do you know how complicated of an operation that would be? They have infrared cameras that sense camera lenses and shut off their lights. Okay, then why do they have the lights on to begin with? From all angles, dude? What do you think drones are? You think they're like how do you think drones are operated? Like, you think that it's just like an alien that's operating the drone? Like, how do they have real-time understanding? Why do they have the lights on at first? Why do they turn their lights off? And how do they figure out that, like, eyes are on them? It's not possible. Even with basic infrared, you can tell when people are looking at you by the simple fact that they're outside and pointing cameras at you. I agree this is not happening, but that's how it could happen. Oh, my God. Dude, at any given moment, when you're flying at that altitude, do you know how many eyes could be on you? My point is, you will never be able to tell. Like, what? Let's say there are 1,000 cameras. The automatic assumption should be that they're always on you, okay? That's why it doesn't make sense as to why they would even have their lights on to begin with. Because the moment that you actually come close enough to the shoreline, there are 1,000 opportunities to be spotted. Why the would they have the lights on? Only until they recognize that someone caught them. High technology, but apparently Deborah can take a photo on her iPhone 14. Yeah. Also, there are points where there would have eyes on them and they still kept their lights on, defeating the purpose of hiding behind being sneaky. Yeah, like this.
Social media to report drone sightings. For the past few nights, my Ring app has been full of alerts, though many do seem to be plane sightings. The White House on Thursday implied as much.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat. We have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings. To the contrary, upon review of available imagery, it appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
Still, mystery drone sightings have been seen across the country, including over Langley Air Force Base.
Yeah, good luck fucking instilling any trust in the American public after destroying what semblance of trust that might have remained, like ruining your credibility on the Gaza stuff. So who the would ever believe that? I just, like, across the board, Americans just don't trust their government. You know, you got the Iraq War, you got 9/11, you got the JFK assassination. Time and time again, American media, in unison with the American State Department, has actively been like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Don't look over here, okay? Nothing weird. Shut the fuck up. And of course, there is a tremendous level of distrust in the American government and a tremendous level of distrust in the American media. So obviously, not a single person is going to hear that and go, you know what? I agree, actually. You're right. There's probably nothing to fear. At this point, they'd be better off being like, they're aliens, okay? I feel like people are so inclined not to believe the American government that if the American government came out and were like, they're UFOs, they'd be like, oh, it's okay, never mind, I don't believe it. They've been negatively polarized against any sort of revelation from the American government or the military, really. That trust is gone. That bond is broken. The American government is basically chat poop socking the streamer, okay? The ancient bond of trust between streamer and chat has been desecrated, defiled, defecated on, time and time again. So no, after the 15th poop sock, the American government, the American population doesn't believe the American government any longer. The trust is gone. But of course, like even if there was one or two weird incidents that just don't pass the smell test, that could be attributed to a defense contractor testing out their new shiny toy or whatever. Okay. There are 10,000 mass hysteria, collective psychosis opportunities for the average American who has the mindset of a medieval peasant, who now will look to every single plane and go, that's a drone. What the f- is this? Anyway.
On Virginia's shoreline in December 2023.
People have a right to know, where are these?
And no, I don't think it's a news and event that the U.S. government is using this drone hysteria to divert attention from. I don't think so. I think that's another like brain broken way to approach it. Like, no. What the? I think we give the American government far too much competence. Okay? Like, I think the American military is very powerful, much more powerful than you would suspect. But I also don't think that their influence is so vast, their schemes so complicated, that they're actually actively trying to get our attention away from the things that matter. It's like, no, dude, most Americans don't know about anything and don't give a about anything, okay? You don't really need to jiggle keys in front of them to get them to change their perception. They're not like, yeah, they were very excited about the revolutionary sentiment and class consciousness that was being instilled upon the proletariat. We're on the verge of rising up, ladies and gentlemen, until the American government came in and started putting drones everywhere in New Jersey. And all of a sudden, the Marxist-Leninist vanguard of New Jersey fell apart because now they're hyper-focused on these drones. It's not just New Jersey. It'll be all over now. Like, while it might have been, while all of the self-reporting is coming from New Jersey, as you noticed in the beginning of the other news story, now they're seeing them in Connecticut and New York and elsewhere in Pennsylvania. And the reason for why they're seeing that everywhere is because, yeah, there's a whole bunch of flying shit everywhere all the time. And it's isn't it the Jeep phenomenon? What is it called? Or the buggy phenomenon? Where you like, once you purchase a Jeep, you start recognizing so many more Jeeps. Like we have pattern recognition. And once we are hyper focused on something, once it's on our minds, we start recognizing it a lot more. Okay? That's just what it is to a certain degree. We're just like, oh, there's inexplicable aerial phenomena all around us. Bader-Meinhof frequency bias.
Drones coming from? And what's the origin of all these drones? What's all this activity? People have seen it. The state police have seen them. These are not made up. People are not just making up what they're seeing. Now, listen, some of these things could be confused if it's late at night with manned aircraft, right? I don't believe all of these are necessarily drones, but there are certainly drones out there.
What happens next? Hopefully we get more info on the mystery in the sky. And I get better at shooting aerial objects with an iPhone.
Oh, come on, not the flash. Oh, come on, don't lose the focus.
A deepening mystery unfolding in the tri-state area today. People in the New York metropolitan area are now reporting a growing number of drone sightings in their communities. This follows a wave of mysterious appearances.
Keep reading the DoD statement. We have had confirmed sightings at Picatinny Arsenal and Naval Weapons Station Earl, the spokesperson said. This is not a new issue for us. We've had to deal with drone incursions over our bases for quite a time now. It's something that we routinely respond to in each and every case when reporting is cited. The spokesperson said military installations have means to detect and respond to such drones, and that security personnel are trained to identify, categorize, and employ those tools to keep drones from flying unauthorized over U.S. military bases. Right now, the FBI, DHS, FAA, and DOD have been unable to determine who is responsible for flying the drones, and there's no indication that there are adversary nations involved. To date, we have no intelligence or observations that would indicate that they were aligned with a foreign actor. I feel like if they were aligned, even if they're not malicious, they still will openly state it. So it's got to be not aligned. You know what I mean? Like, remember the Chinese weather balloon that drifted off into U.S. airspace? And everyone was like, oh, it's a Chinese weather balloon, dog. They're coming after us. They're trying to spy on our fucking military bases. It's like, even though it wasn't as significant nor as severe as the way that the American government presented it, it still didn't matter. Like, people were whipped into a frenzy. And the American government absolutely used red baiting to get people riled up. We have not been able to locate or identify the operators or the points of origin. The spokesperson said that the military has limited authorities when it comes to conducting investigations off of military installations in the United States and is also prohibited from conducting intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance operations in the U.S., which might be used to determine the origins of who might be flying the drones. Okay. Yeah, there's no intra-agency cooperation to investigate such matters. Yeah, famously, nobody ever spies on American soil. None of our agencies actually spy on American soil. Guys, I promise, we just have no authority here. It's outside of our jurisdiction. We don't know. Maybe it's real. Maybe it's not. Get the fuck out of here. But the spokesperson also said military installations have good relations with local law enforcement who can conduct investigations off the installation. Oh, God. We have to coordinate with law enforcement and try to do that, which we are doing, the spokesperson said. And we do that on a routine basis at nearly all of our locations. We have good relationships. Spokesperson also said the department is frustrated with the appearance of drones. The main point is to deter the activity using some of our electronic means that can respond to most of these small commercial systems and deny them access to the airspace over our bases. The spokesperson said, we don't know what the activity is. We don't know if it's just criminal, but I will tell you that it is irresponsible. Here on the military side, we are just as frustrated with the irresponsible nature of this activity. Yeah, I think it's hard for me not to see this as a collective hysteria from a generation of people that have had TikTok ruin their brains. Like, this is another person at the same location ID. This is a high visibility ball on a power line. Oh my God. Everyone is becoming a UFO truther. And what's funnier is, like, now, doors open. Now the UFOs are no longer going to Ohio. Now they're going somewhere even less likely. The Ohio of the tri-state. New Jersey, man. That's crazy. It's like aliens never go to Shenzhen, okay? They never go to Tokyo. Only Godzilla. Aliens only go to a cornfield in Iowa. And now it seems they're going to the cornfield of the tri-state, New Jersey. Why are they so fascinated? This makes no sense. Unusual activity report over Barksdale AFB. Chris Smith of New Jersey related to Congress this week how a U.S. Coast Guard boat was followed by dozens of these things with no idea what they were and no authorization to engage. God, I love this story, man. It's sick. What a fantastic story.
In the skies over New Jersey, sparking major concern among residents as well as among local and state leaders. The White House and FBI say there is no evidence to this point that the drones pose a national security threat or have any kind of foreign connection. But that's only adding to the confusion, because so far there are no explanations as to what they even are, where they're coming from, or who might be launching them. For weeks now, the drones have been spotted over homes, critical infrastructure, and sensitive government sites. Today, some frustrated lawmakers have gone from asking questions to demanding answers.
New Jersey can't become the Wild West of drone activity. No state can become the Wild West of drone activity. I've made this very clear to the FBI, to Homeland Security, and the FAA, the agencies chiefly responsible for monitoring drone activity. They must immediately disclose more information to the public. It's totally and completely unacceptable that you have all this drone activity going on that people are seeing with their own eyes. The fact that the federal agencies responsible for briefing the public have not come forward in a clear way is unacceptable. There has to be some explanation to the public for all this increased activity, and they must do so now.
Thus far, the drones have managed to evade radar as well as police helicopters. And moments ago, CNN learned that Connecticut police are tracking reported sightings of drones over Fairfield County. CNN's Polo Sandoval spoke to a leader at a private.
You might be thinking, Hasan, how can so many people with institutional legitimacy be stupid? Okay? Like, there's got to be someone who is smart that has direct evidence or something. And I'm here to dispel that notion. Okay? I need you to understand, no, virtually every single person involved in the story can be stupid. From Josh Gottheimer to every single individual cop to the random Debras and the Barbaras that flip out their phones and start filming these drones or whatever, can all be collectively hysterical. I need you to understand, if you're here to hear from me a different alternative that will tell you that this is most likely foreign adversaries in action, I don't think so.
Aerospace security company about how investigators are trying to track these drones.
Someone listen to literal generals and shit about this, not just a bunch of stupid nut jobs. Dog, what are you talking about? We just read the DOD announcement on it. What do you mean, listen to literal generals? Unless you mean like some UAP, some former military, like naval officer or whatever, that sits across from congresspersons looking to make a name for themselves at a UAP Senate hearing, then no. Ne yapıyor? Anne, yani bunu yapmak zorundasın. Yoksa çekecek ya artık ve kötüleştiriyorsun şu anda köpeği böyle yap.
DHS and the FBI saying that thus far they have not been able to corroborate any drone sightings with electronic detection, I should say. So we did some digging into what that actually looks like and how that can actually happen. I had an opportunity to speak to a representative of Dedrone, which is a private aerospace security company that basically helps their clients prevent and detect any unauthorized drone flights. That representative telling me that there are at least 4 ways that you can actually detect some of these flights. The first, using radio frequency. You can actually pick up some of that chatter, some of the signals that are sent and dispatched between the drone and the remote control on the ground. There's certainly cameras. A simple surveillance camera often does the trick, though with more advanced cases, more advanced technology is needed. Radar, we all know how that works. And then finally, acoustics. You can quite literally use equipment to listen for some of these drones, though that representative told me that that is becoming less reliable since drone technology has evolved. And oftentimes these drones are much quieter. But overall, these are the kinds of resources that authorities on the ground in New Jersey at the state and local level are asking the federal government to provide. In fact, on Friday, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy sending a letter to President Biden, and in it, not only does he express growing concern about these drone sightings, but also is asking for more federal resources to be sent to New Jersey to help them try to get to the bottom of this. The governor also adding that the residents in his state deserve more information, that it's not enough to simply be told that this is not a matter of any sort of public security or public safety. They want to find out what's behind these drone sightings. And finally, the governor expressing concern about conspiracy theories that we have seen and heard for the last several days. It was just a few days ago that there was an official that was publicly speaking out about this, saying that it was his theory that it was likely an Iranian mothership off the East Coast that was sending these drones in. Of course, the Pentagon quickly denying that claim. Back to you.
All right, Polo Sandoval, thanks for the report. And joining us now to talk more about these mysterious drones is Michael Mellum. He is the mayor of Belleville, New Jersey, which is one of the communities where numerous drones have been spotted. Mayor, thanks so much for being with us. We do have some video that you and the Belleville Police Department obtained that I want to show our viewers. And if we can go ahead and put that up. Here it is. So just tell us about what we're seeing here, where this is, where you've been seeing drones.
How can they deny where the drones come from and also not know where they come from? You never looked into cow mutilation conspiracy. You really should. You had a full-blown malicious form to shoot down helicopters, and the U.S. military had to increase the flight height of their planes and helicopters as a result. What? You also had a prisoner manage an escape by claiming knowledge of the satanic motorcycle cult responsible for it at all. What the?
Thank you for having me. So that video that you're seeing was actually shot by one of our Belleville police officers, who actually is a licensed drone pilot. So he's got some familiarity with how these things move. He shot that, and what you're looking at right now is in very close proximity. Belleville borders the city of Newark, and Newark, as we probably all know, Newark International Airport is right there, right in the middle of air traffic control. So that's really running up and down Route 21 here in Belleville, which is a direct conduit right to Newark International Airport. That's why it's gravely concerning to see so many drones in the air night after night. That video was shot on December 8th, but the last 2 days has been a hotbed. We have been swarmed with drones over the last 2 evenings.
So a statement put out by federal investigators says they haven't corroborated any of the sightings with electronic detection, and they actually believe that many of the reported sightings are manned aircraft that are operating lawfully. Do you think that some of these reports have simply misidentified or mischaracterized drones? And you know, specifically in that video, what is it that the drone operator said, no, this is the behavior that tells me this is a drone?
Certainly, I mean, now that you have almost widespread hysteria because we have a lack of transparency going on here, everybody's looking up in New Jersey. So clearly there's going to be...
There's no lack of transparency. What the are you talking about? They just don't know because drones are easily accessible. Like that's literally it. What are they supposed? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm defending the American government here. Oh my God. Dude, what the we are so crazy. Oh, we're so cooked. We're so cooked. I think we're cooked as dude. Consumer drones up to 55 pounds, much bigger than typical camera drones, can legally be flown, even under recreational use without reporting or getting authorization. Of course, with some restrictions and registration. In any case, the FAA will be 100% on top of whatever they are. Not drones, not a drone. Nearly 14 minutes of pilot queries, a good few minutes of ATC recordings with pilots recently. It's not my audio, but the interactions do appear to be pretty genuine. Quite fascinating. Oh, stop. This is 100% a Chatter's account. This is Gandalf Ilantifa or whatever, and you are 100% a UFO guy, and you're now saying these are UFOs. Oh my God. There's a reason why I deliberately don't cover the UAP congressional hearings, because this is the one aspect that I find, as far as conspiracy theories goes, this is the one part of like the conspiracy theories that I can't stand, because chatters reveal their insane opinions very voluntarily, very quickly, and it's just like it further erodes the confidence I have in my own community. I know it's your account. I know, that's what hurts. So you'll believe AMLO but not chat, okay? No, I often joke about AMLO saying that duendas are real.
Be some misidentification going on, but I could tell you from my own visuals, things that I've seen out my bedroom window and things I've seen over the edge of my balcony. We are absolutely seeing drones. We are not seeing small planes. And frankly, it's been insulting to the residents of New Jersey to be told that they're just seeing things or they're all misidentified.
No, dude, it's most likely some random big ass drones that people are operating, okay, on their own. And now that the story's grown, the number of people with drones that are flying their drones to have some fun is also increased. And then there's collective hysteria and panic that play a major role in the story exploding. But like, for the most part, even if it was commercial drones that are flying over military bases and they couldn't intercept them for one reason or another, why the f would the American military voluntarily reveal that they can just have like commercial surveillance aircraft flying over its military bases voluntarily? It's if anything, if the government is coming across as shifty or shady in this circumstance, is most likely to hide incompetence and not like some much larger grand plan that's existing. I'm of the mindset that most of these things can be explained away, and that it's not straight up a alien conspiracy or a foreign adversary that's like actively trying to destroy America or the or a government psyop. And originally I was going to tackle this and choose my favorite conspiracy theory, but given even in this community, like given how many people want it to be a real story, I fear the dangers of leaning into conspiratorial thinking, even if it is simply to have fun. Okay?
Fine. We're not misidentifying. There are objects that are flying within hundreds of feet above our homes. That's not good. They're just above the sight line, just above the tree line. We know for a fact that these things are not operating the way airplanes do. Airplanes tend to glide and go from point A to point B in a direct line. These things are going up and down in elevation. They're hovering. They're moving erratically. These things are not manned aircraft. That's insulting to be told that.
Do you think federal officials are taking this seriously enough?
It depends on your perspective on that. I mean, we keep being told that these drones are hovering over our critical infrastructure. So that could be either scary or comforting. Scary if
it's so funny because it's like the Defense Department's like, yeah, this happens. It's annoying, but, you know, calm down. Okay. But then like random people are like, no, it's hovering over my critical infrastructure. It's like, bitch, what are you saying? You're the mayor of Belleville, New Jersey. What critical infrastructure are drones hovering over? In Belleville, New Jersey. Yeah, if the American military is less panicked about this than you are, I think you should shut the f up. They're hovering over our Wawas. What insane new crimes against humanity are being committed in Gaza right now that we have to talk about these drones over New Jersey? No, dude. Americans don't give a f about what's going on in Gaza, regardless of whether there's a new conspiracy to pay attention to. Trust me, very clearly, as evidenced by the reality that 50 women and children were slaughtered literally last night in yet another refugee camp. Did you even hear a peep about that? No. And that's not because of everyone's attention being shifted away to this drone shit. And it's certainly not because people have found themselves in the throes of revolutionary sentiment after Luigi Mangioni's attack against the healthcare CEO or whatever, and people are trying to quickly shift the attention away. I don't think it's like that. I don't think it's like that either. I think most people just like care about things for a collective total of 12 hours at this point.
if it's a bad actor, or comforting if it's actually our federal government. Some out there, and I'm probably in that group, actually do believe these may be government assets that are being deployed because potentially they know of a threat, an active threat, and that these might very well be government assets.
So what do you want from federal authorities? And is part of this the communication that you and other mayors are getting from them? Because it seems that there's been some frustration on that front.
There's a lot of frustration. On Wednesday, 200 mayors were gathered for a security briefing that was unprecedented in the state of New Jersey. We left that meeting knowing next to nothing. What we're asking for is transparency. At this point, I'm not necessarily concerned with who the drones belong to. I can make that assumption. I'm more concerned with why they're out there. That's really the answer. I think having more transparency from the administration, not being told that we're seeing things, not being told there's nothing to see here. I think more transparent.
Dude, this country's in the shitter. It's in the dumps. It's over. I'm gonna keep it $150. When people in positions of power are also not demonstrating any sort of calmness that is required in moments like this, to be like, hey guys, let's exercise a little bit of critical thinking, and instead immediately flying off the handle and being like, it's an Iranian mothership. Holy dude. Oh, America is so not okay. And I know that there is a bunch of leftists in the chat who also love conspiracies, who are like, Hasan, you're out of your element on this one. You're out of your depth on this one. Just like a bunch of people said that to me. They're in the Chinese weather balloon panic, that it just doesn't seem to me like this is as severe or as significant a problem in the way that people present it. Hasanabi is dead wrong on this one. Yes, alien dog star. You are correct. I am dead wrong on this one. It's actually an alien mothership. It's not even an Iranian mothership. The FAA has remote ID requirements to fly drones. They broadcast information about the operator, and the info can be accessed by law enforcement. They either know exactly who's flying those drones or they're incompetent. I feel like with the mass availability of drones, I genuinely do feel like half of these are just like not properly registered drones. Like, how the f do you understand how, like, you could just purchase something off Alibaba and just like let it rip without getting the proper registration? Like, how are you gonna find out? Remember, during the Chinese weather balloon the Chinese weather balloon panic, they shot a weather balloon that like a bunch of student groups had put together. Okay, everyone was looking up at the sky going, oh my God, it's another Chinese weather balloon. We're gonna die. And in that panic, they shot a balloon of a local student weather club or whatever. I think part of it is I'm not gonna cast aside the idea that like part of this is some, testing going on by defense contractors. But I think the overwhelming majority of the hysteria is just people thinking that there's a drone anywhere and everywhere by either scary aliens or even scarier, the Iranians. These are Sharia drones that are flying over the United States of America with whatever purpose they have. I do not know yet. Please don't be upset. Is this an example of manufacturing cassette towards Iran? No, because even the DOD is like, no, this isn't Iran. And if they wanted to, they could so easily massage public sentiment and say, nah, it's Iran. We're talking about very nefarious, we're talking about a government that may or may not have been involved in anthrax, at least anthrax that was found, anthrax that could be traced back to the FBI, that seemingly made its way into the mailboxes of Americans, that definitely universalized the 9/11, post 9/11 hysteria. Okay? So there have been instances where maybe strange things have happened that have created collective hysteria. People pushing the public sentiment in a certain direction. Having said that, if they wanted to, they could just so easily be like, this is Iran, this is China, this is a Chinese-Iranian partnership with Russia, and they're trying to make Americans trans with these drone sightings, and everyone would lose their minds. So the very fact that the DOD is not hitting that button means that it's, most likely not foreign adversaries sending out swarms of drones. Nefarious like testing LSD on unaware population in the States and abroad. Yeah, except the problem is those tests were failures. They didn't actually end up figuring out a way to do mind control. I think people forget that. People forget that aspect of it. It didn't end up creating mind control. It just ended up breaking the minds of certain people that we know about. Oh, stop. What is it? I saw 5 drones.
There's one right above us.
This is weird.
And then there's one over there. What the heck? And then there's one right there. What the heck?
Who knows? What the aliens know?
But there's 1, 2, 3, in this, right here.
Yeah, I can't tell, but I assume that they're just planes, chat. New Jersey Medevac had to issue a warning to their Lifelight pilots about drone activity posing a flight safety risk. The FBI is investigating, but they have no idea what they're dealing with. The governor of New Jersey had a small press briefing earlier this week. People have tried to fly their own private drones to get a better look, only to experience weird battery failures.
Where are the batteries at? It's fully charged.
It says 0. It won't let me.
What is going on? Okay, these are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down. The craziest thing. They will not fly.
If you don't buy into the conspiracy, your community will be dissatisfied. I don't give a f. When have I? Yeah, this is dumbasses who think I'm audience captured or whatever because you're a moron. A dumbass baboon who doesn't understand that there have been a million different instances where I've openly, firmly planted my feet on the ground and been directly at odds with numerous members of this community. I'm stubborn to a fault, dumbass. That's why half the people become haters, because they find me to be, they literally look to something that they truly believe, and they look to me to agree with them. And when I don't, their brains break and they can't be like, okay, well, we disagree with this, but it doesn't really matter. Half of the haters that feed into the Hasanabi hater complex come from issues exactly like this one. Whether it be my anger and resentment towards cryptocurrencies, my anger and resentment towards NFTs. Many people are like, no, I believe this. And I actually hate that Hasanabi doesn't believe this. So now it's my life's mission to hate him. They don't have the capacity to be like, yeah, maybe we don't agree on this. And maybe I'll just wait this out and see where it goes. Okay? But the notion that like I would be audience captured is so stupid, especially considering everything that I advocate for and everything that I talk about. There isn't a massive, vibrant audience desperately looking for someone to repeat to them the things that they already believe. Or maybe you think that there are, you know, actively at any given moment, 30,000 card-carrying Marxist-Leninists that were always waiting for someone to, I don't know, advocate for these kinds of values, and they all just happen to find this community. Yeah. I lost 30% of my audience after October 7 for not doing that, for not being at the whims of my audience. If I was so audience captured, I would have shied away. Schizo monkey, or simply the fact that you describe people at odds with you as an inbred right-winger. Well, considering your name is Schizo monkey, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you might be an inbred right-winger. And that's probably why it hurts, because the truth hurts a lot more than just, you know, someone randomly calling you a thing that you're not. Should I go fly my drone right now? No, you won't be able to, see, because the batteries die.
There's no way the battery's dead. It's fully charged.
It's 0. It won't let me.
What is going on? Okay, these are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and, like a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down. The craziest thing. They will not fly. Like, it won't fly. What the fuck? I don't believe in government conspiracies, but listen. There's mystery drones, and people's regular drones will not go up in the air and crash out. What the Alright, trying again to get the drone up.
No, this one won't, it won't even let me.
What? What's it say? Let me see what this
Just charge or warm up battery.
What?
Charging battery required.
It's full.
You are right. I am in fact inbred. My mother f***ed her brother. You are right about everything else, though. Good job. 2, good job. Thank you, Schizo Monkey. Perhaps you're on a journey of not able to, you won't be able to overcome being inbred, but maybe you will be able to overcome being a right-winger. RQ-170 Lockheed Martin Skunks Works, so the drones, or at least some of them. Do you think America's dog shit education system makes our populace more susceptible to mass hysteria like this? I think it's just like we're bored. We're relatively comfortable. But also at the same time, there's a lot of uncertainty. And yes, a lack of education at our foundation, at our very core, plays a significant role. We are so susceptible to destabilization. I'm sure some of the drones are some weird government defense contractor shit. Like that's, I'm not writing that out at all. I just don't think that the level of panic that people are exhibiting has anything to do with like some serious, significant threat of inexplicable aerial phenomena.
They just hover. A little bit over there, a little bit over there, a little bit, but they just hover back and forth.
I like that local news is basically operating like a bunch of little Tyler Oliveras, though, going up to like random weirdos and being like, hello, Mr. Crank, sir. Can you explain to me all the drones you saw up in the sky? It's so funny that like people will make fun of, I don't know, Kyrie Irving for knowing the truth about Earth being flat. And then we'll then turn around and collectively engage in this like vast conspiracy.
Wharton, New Jersey resident and Terror Talk podcast host Michael B. has spent the past 2 weeks attempting to see what these peculiar-looking light-up moving dots are in the sky.
I love that every guy that is convinced that this is not a... Every guy that's convinced that this is a drone has their own drone, by the way. Oh, he's not a nobody, he's a podcaster? That's significantly worse.
A drone of his own, but so far, he hasn't had any luck.
The other night, there was, right here over Picatinny, there was a drone.
Do you guys kind of understand why there's so many more inexplicable aerial phenomena? Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry has a drone. And they're flying their drones to investigate the other drones. And then other people that see those drones are flying their own drones to investigate the drones that they saw that other people were flying to investigate the first drone that they saw. Hello?
drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, you know, lost control, and my drone started going down.
Dude, we have phone cameras for everything. How come this isn't like filmed? Oh man, you had a fantastic opportunity to film and you just like didn't film it? That's crazy. You didn't film this crazy, inexplicable thing? Like, damn, dude. Shit. I'm hearing a lot about drones and I'm hearing a lot about like all the shit that's happening related to drones. And it's just like, I just don't see anybody filming it. That's just how drone jammers work. He explained exactly what they do. Why are you covering this up? Because I'm in the pocket of Big Drone. From 500 mayors. He got a briefing from 500 mayors.
New Jersey has some of the best detection equipment in the nation, I am told. We have by far the most robust equipment, is what the state police told us. The detection equipment is up, but not detecting. These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected. Here's some unknowns. And again, they were very transparent today. So some of the unknowns, the state police says, unknowns, we have no idea where they're taking off from. No idea. We have no idea where they're landing. No idea at all. We have no idea.
Yeah, because that's just how drones are. Like that podcast host, the one that took off his drone and then landed his drone. I'm sure there were at least 10 to 20 people that saw that drone and freaked the f out. And if there was a cop in the process, he would have said, I don't know where this drone is coming from and I don't know where it landed. That's just how drones are. That's drones. That's it. Everyone can have them. Oh my God.
Idea who is behind them, because as I mentioned, they are not state and we are told it is not federal. We have no idea the drone types, as I mentioned before. That they stay up about 6 to 7 hours, and if you're a drone operator, you probably know that that's a very, very long time. We know that we've gotten close, but when we do get close, the lights have gone dark and they have left the area. And we do know that they are flying, as I've repeatedly said, they are flying over critical infrastructure like reservoirs, Picatinny Arsenal, Trump Bedminster, and our nuclear power plants.
Oh my God. What is this? Oh, officials say Chinese hacking group dubbed Salt Typhoon compromised at least 8 of America's telecoms networks. The intruders stole the call record metadata of a large number of Americans. Yeah, isn't this what the New York Times wrote about as well? This is what I briefly brought up in the beginning of this conversation about like what our foreign adversaries and their spying capabilities look like. It's old news at this point.
Well, you don't know anything.
All right, so you're here today. You were just inside. You walked out. Why?
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything. Okay, it was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know.
Also, look around. There's water coming from the air. What's that about? It's like the sky is crying on us. Nobody can explain it. I keep asking for questions. I say, what's this ball of fire in the sky? Why is the sky crying? Nobody can give me a goddamn answer on it. What the hell's going on? Is God crying on us or is God peeing on us? I'm partial to both. Could be any number of different reasons. But what you must remember is that we have to panic. We have to panic a lot. Because it's very obvious that if I can't understand something, that means it's the worst possible scenario. And God damn it, I can't understand quite a bit.
Why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today, spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea. Why would you call a meeting to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators would ask questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. The colonel of the state police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones,
Like the notion here is that the cop is just like actually a drone technician. And no, he's the most knowledgeable guy to investigate the matter, and not just some high school dropout. Okay, like, dude, they're cops. It's a cop. He flew over the drone. Let me tell you, okay? Everybody knows you got to trust the cops when they tell you something.
6-foot drone or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. And he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. Where'd it go? Who knows? You know, didn't want to follow it because he didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker to when it landed.
Okay, I'm beginning to realize that it is a psyop. Okay, are you ready for this? Hold on. Originally, I was wrong when I said that this wasn't actually a government psyop. The drone story is a government psyop, and here's why. On December 8th, an Italian man by the name of Luigi Mangione committed a heinous act of an assassination of a high-powered CEO of one of the most profitable corporations in the United States of America. This created a lot of panic amongst the owner class and also instilled revolutionary sentiment in the proletariat, working class Americans. But another thing that happened that was completely unacceptable. Americans finally decided that an Italian man could be good. Ever since the days of James Gandolfini, Americans had not felt this comfortable openly stating that they thought an Italian man was attractive. In order to combat this kind of pro-Italian sentiment, the American government immediately went to an area where the highest density of Italians were located, New Jersey. In order to show the rest of the country that Italians are actually dumbasses with minds like a medieval peasant, they started flying drones. 6-feet drones. Flying in low altitude. Flying low enough so that these Italians could see the drones and respond to them. This way, they would show everyone in America with eyes to see that Italians were actually stupid and not worthy of praise. That's the real conspiracy. Luigi Mangione became the people's hero, and America would not let an Italian man thrive. So they immediately went back to the drawing board and started disparaging the good nature and the good name of Italians by bringing hell upon the Italians of New Jersey. Very clearly, the goal is to make Italians look like medieval peasants, dumb apes.
They would know, but they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion, on trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology, we have the people, we have the training, we have the resources, we have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean,
Why?
I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time, if they didn't know anything? Come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything. But if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead it was just excuse after excuse, and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on, and that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And they're saying no threat to...
Bro, this is why there will never be a leftist Joe Rogan, okay? And this is why Joe Rogan is so goddamn popular. Because every American, regardless of their political acumen, regardless of what position they hold in American society, is Joe Rogan. We have become a nation of Joe Rogans. This guy is literally just another Joe Rogan variant, okay? So is the mayor of Bellevue or whatever. We're all Joe Rogans. This is a nation run by Joe Rogans, comprised entirely of Joe Rogans.
To Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing. When I walked in here today, This
is literally gang stalking shit, dude. Every American's got a little bit of that gang stalking subredditor energy to them. I swear to God. Oh my Lord, we are so cooked. This spells trouble for American society. This is not good. This is scary. This is dangerous.
Actually pretty calm. I was excited to be here to find out a couple things. I thought they'd be like, hey, listen, it's FedEx trying to figure out. But instead, I got the most ridiculous amateur hour briefing I've ever sat through.
We're unbelievably cooked.
Jen. Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that.
Mothership. Like how far off the American coastline can an Iranian mothership operate? Please take your lithium, dude. You think the American Coast Guard is not actively monitoring random ships that are at least close enough in proximity to the American shoreline that are sending a swarm of drones into the United States of America? This is a conspiracy so far-fetched that even the Pentagon's like, come on, guys. We love a good story about our foreign adversaries dunking on us in an effort to whip up some frenzy. Okay? But even this is too far-fetched. Like, think about that. It's so insane that the Pentagon is saying, like, come on. Come on. It's just, come on. This is the same sentiment behind, like, vaccination campaigns, like mass inoculation campaigns. There are moments where the government, okay, even for nefarious reasons, will do the right thing to protect the overall welfare of the American citizenry. And I repeated this over and over again. The capitalists wanted you to get inoculated so you can get back to work in, 2 days, 3 days, not be permanently damaged, okay, by COVID. That's why they wanted you to get it. And they liked the vaccine so much that they got it ahead of you. And yet, for some reason, so many Americans were like, nah, dog. If the government's telling me I need to get inoculated, I'm not getting that shit. There's probably a really scary reason. It's like, no, dude, it's a very obvious reason. You're cattle. This does not mean it's a bad thing unless you don't mind dying, I guess. That's it. But people are so predisposed to just being like, the government, I don't care what it says, that they just sometimes find themselves lost. When they find themselves being contrarian to the government without like critical examination, you arrive at this weird space where you think that even when the government is trying to do right by you, even if it's for bad purposes, or even if it's for like other additional purposes, like ensuring that, you get back to work in a relatively fast manner, you just automatically assume it's bad. They're up to no good. And then you end up not vaccinating yourself. And here we are at another moment where people are just like, nah, I don't trust them. Here's the video of the mothership comment.
Focus now. Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, member of the House Judiciary Committee on the Hill right now. How do you address this at this point?
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high...
We've been destabilizing the whole world, and now that shit's coming back on us. Yeah, well, that's it. New Jersey residents, after seeing American Airlines B737 take off from Newark. Not funny. Lithium insults, boo. Let's make fun of lithium. Not funny. Oh my God. Oh, dude, stop. Colonial violence returning to the metropole. It is. It's like so much destabilization and a centuries of just destabilization and violence that we brought about to the rest of the world at the behest of the profit motive that we've dished out on our own unsuspecting citizenry have caused Americans to be dumb as. What is this, FedEx system down? What is this FedEx tracking? Dog, you just doxed yourself in the the f is wrong with you? Chatter just linked his own FedEx tracking. What the f is wrong with you, Chatter? Are you okay? I know the delivery driver's name. His name is Blake, okay? I know down to the guy who's your delivery driver delivering your package. Do you understand? What the f? I banned him. I banned him for his own good. Not permanently.
Sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources. I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not.
But it's not. It's a mothership. It's an Iranian mothership.
Not our own government, because they would have let us know. It could have been.
No, they would have
really
definitely they would have let you know.
Hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward. The sources I have are good. They can't reveal who they are because they are speaking to me in confidentiality. These drones should be shot down. Whether it was some crazy hobbyist that we can't imagine, or whether it is Iran, and I think it very possibly could be, they should be shot down. We are not getting the full deal, and the military.
My mom just informed me that there was drones all over New Jersey on 4th of July, and that me and Marat laughed at her when she reported on the drones, even back then. We're so cooked. We're so cooked. Does this guy know they sell drones at the convenience store in other countries? They sell drones at the convenience store in this country, Jake.
Is on alert with this.
Look, you've given us some pretty dire information just
dire
here, and I want to make sure that our viewers are digesting this. Iran has the capability to pull up along our eastern seaboard and launch drones the size of an SUV into the skies of several states, particularly New Jersey, where we know the incoming president has a large home.
Bro, dude, I'm telling you, dude, we're so stupid. We're such a stupid country. It's over. The American project is over. The American century of domination is over before the century even ended. It's so done. I see this project collapsing in its entirety in the next 2 decades, okay?
Also in the same county or nearby where some of these drones in New Jersey have been seen.
The funniest thing is, like, drone stories like this have been around for a while, but the media never pushed the button and started hyper-focusing on the madness. Like, I remember every couple of months there's a story from some random town in America. Drones were seen flying over critical infrastructure like power lines. Drones were seen flying over inexplicable drone sightings outside of American military bases. But now the media is giving it a shit ton of coverage.
Growing concern over hundreds of these mysterious drones.
So Here we are.
Sightings in the Northeast.
That is not an airplane.
Videos on social media showing drones described as much larger and faster than those typically used by hobbyists, hovering over parts of New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania in recent days. Some spotted over a U.S. military facility, over reservoirs, and over President-elect Trump's golf club and summer home. The FBI is investigating, but so far, no answers.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
A New Jersey congressman claims Iran is responsible.
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. It's off the east coast of the United States of America.
But he's refusing to reveal sources to back up his claim.
Yo, what is this? A Israeli foreign ministry person? What do you mean? They didn't give you any details or information and you're just reporting on it uncritically. We only do that for one country. What the f is going on? Normally, we're not supposed to do that for American congresspersons. What the hell?
They do work with the Air Force. They do work with national defense. They do work with drones.
The Pentagon denying any so-called mothership. On the West Coast, a Chinese citizen has been arrested, accused of using a drone to snap aerial photos over Vandenberg Space Force Base. Just hours after the launch of a U.S. spy satellite last month, authorities say he hacked the drone to enter no-fly zones. Some are comparing these drone incidents to that Chinese spy balloon the size of 2 school buses.
That wasn't... What is happening? That wasn't like a spy balloon. I thought we established that this was not a spy. What? Bro, is this a real local news media? What the clickbait title? Shame on you. Yeah, Pentagon did not shoot down an Iranian. Pentagon shoots down Iranian mothership claim,
which was shot down off the South Carolina coast last year.
So my responsibility is for the American people to have full disclosure. That doesn't mean we tell them military secrets. But when you have something the size of a Chevy Suburban hovering over your backyard, and these reports are real, and they don't deny them. The Pentagon doesn't deny the reports, nobody does. There's something going on here, obviously.
When they envision Archer, when they hear Archer, they think of air taxis, they think of urban mobility. What is the opportunity in defense for Archer?
Yeah, well, I think it's quite common for aircraft manufacturers to participate in both the commercial aspects of the industry as well as the defense aspects. The commercial side of Archer's business has become very mature, and the aircraft is in the late stages of its development and certification program. And so it was a great opportunity for us to really extend and expand our capabilities and move into the defense side. And of course, partnering with Anduril is an amazing opportunity as they're the premier defense tech company in the world.
So what does that product look like when it's all said and done in partnership with Anduril?
So we're building a hybrid electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. It will have a lot of the same capabilities that you've seen on the commercial side. So these are vehicles that can be produced at much lower costs. They're vehicles that have...
I'm going to be honest with you. I do not believe that this will be operational. I think this is a complete fantasy. I think it's a complete fantasy.
Low acoustic, low thermal signatures. And so applications that will be, very helpful towards defense vehicles. I think it's also really important to the U.S. Department of Defense that we add new capabilities. There's this whole new trend in affordable autonomous aircraft that can help bring new capabilities, but also at the same time dramatically lower costs.
You've been working with a...
Oh, here's also... Reports of multiple airplanes on their final approach to Newark Airport being hit with green laser originating from Staten Island, Perth, Amboy area. Police are searching. Drone panic continues, reminding pointing lasers at airplanes of federal crime. Okay, they're in Staten Island. Okay, like if there's a group of people that are even dumber than the troglodytes in New Jersey, is Staten Islanders. All right, they probably don't understand what planes are. Good luck explaining to them what a plane is. They don't understand. Like air travel.
Department of Defense for a few years, going back to 2021, but now you're just creating this separate defense division. Why are you doing it now? And what's different about defense tech going into 2025? Is this about a new administration?
Yeah, so Archer has a team of around 1,000 people, and we've been working for a long time on building out the capabilities of our aircraft. As the aircraft matured, it allows us to take that platform and build variants of it that can be useful across different applications. You combine that with the new administration, and you have an incredible opportunity for us to dramatically expand our business. So on the commercial side, it can be certainly very big, but it also is, for some people, hard to define. On the defense side, it's very clear that there are new needs that the Defense Department, is looking for, and we can certainly fill those as well. So the opportunity here really is pretty impressive.
What's the type of infrastructure that has to be in place for the Defense Department at bases here and at outposts around the world in order for this product to succeed?
Well, the beauty is that they're vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, which means we don't need runways. And so that's one of the big benefits, that you can have these aircraft that can be utilized across many different applications. So you can think about all things that helicopters do, and then there's certainly things that you can envision that go even beyond those use cases. So when you don't need runways, you need limited infrastructure.
I look up at the sky in New York City, and I see airplanes from Boeing and Airbus, Embraer, and the like. I still don't see air taxis. When will I see air taxis?
Well, the air taxis will come to the U.S. as soon as the regulatory pathway is clear. And one of the benefits of the new administration is that they are, projecting that there will be an easier time to get through some of the regulatory pathways. That being said, it is still up to Archer to make sure that we produce a safe aircraft, and that's where we really focus. And I think you'll start to see things sooner than you might expect.
What sooner than you might expect? What does that mean in terms of number of years? Am I counting on one hand?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Our goal is to have aircraft commercial in the marketplace by the end of next year.
And where would that be?
Well, the starting point is in the UAE. So the UAE has created a framework for us to get to market by the fourth quarter of next year. And so we've been working very closely with the regulators there. But I do think you'll start to see an increasing amount of excitement coming from the FAA as these products get a lot of hours under them in flight tests and really advanced in the certification.
A 9/11 every day in New York City. Yep. Yeah, I don't believe this. And I don't believe that these are EVTOLs or whatever. Chinese balloon got intel gathered from sensitive U.S. military sites despite U.S. efforts to block it. China was able to control the balloon so we could make multiple passes over some sites, at times flying figure-8 formations, to transmit the information it collected back to Beijing in real time. What? From electronic signals which can be picked up from weapons. They literally admitted it wasn't a spy balloon. What? Why are you sending me this? Yeah. That is an article from April 3rd. This is an article from June 29th. Notice how they're still calling it a Chinese spy balloon, but they're also no longer saying that it was capable of collecting information. That's because it wasn't a spy balloon. That linker was like, I'm going to destroy you. Olala, the drone program called Teardrop of the Sky, has appeared in Camden Tower. Oh, so now you trust the State Department? Yes. Dude, look at all these drones, man. This is terrifying. See, they're even spying on themselves. Like gunpowder, China is primarily using drones for cool amusements, while Europeans use them for killing people. That's a banger. That's got to be a tweet that someone stole from someone else. There's no way you just came up with that on your own just now. Yeah, because that's a banger tweet. Wait until people from New Jersey see these drones. Dude, if you showed this to a guy from New Jersey, I think their heart would explode. Like, they would die on the spot. They would have a heart palpitation and die. Okay? Like, oh my God. This would literally kill someone. Oh my God. Americans are so medieval peasant brain. You know how we joke about like a chicken nugget could kill a medieval child? The average like drone show in China would kill the medieval peasant-minded guy living in Wildwood, New Jersey. Okay? They would literally be like, what the hell? Like going like this right here. If they saw this, they'd be like, the world is collapsing. They should do this over an uncontacted tribe. No, they should just do this over Wildwood, New Jersey. What are you doing, little lady? Come on. Please. I'm telling you, you don't have to go to an uncontacted tribe. You can just go to the average. I would say, normally I would joke and say you could go and show this to the average Alabamian or whatever. But honestly, the average New Jerseyan also has the same mindset, it seems. I saw 15 plus drones last night from New Brunswick. I'm willing to bet, I'm telling you, dude, a lot of the drones, I'm almost certain that a lot of the drones that you're seeing are other people who are investigating the drones themselves. Like, it's so, drones are so easy to purchase. Like, you just go to a Best Buy. It's either planes or other people who saw a plane and started flying their drones. Yeah, I mean, look, some of the drones in former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan's video were found to be stars in the constellation. Brother, I don't know. I just feel like we're cooked.
Parents would actually stop fueling the conspiracy theories that are spreading like wildfire on social media.
So you're saying you think you know who owns the drones?
Yeah, I'm saying that I'm more concerned with why they're there. I mean, you have to understand something. We were told that they're hovering over critical infrastructure. We're also being told there's no credible threat. We're
so
also being told
it's a good
they
actor.
don't want to take them
you
out of
don't
the air.
think it's a foreign actor. Do you have reason? Do you have reason to believe that it's actually then? I mean, I'm just trying to read between the lines of what you're saying, that maybe this is U.S. government or some sort of U.S. asset, but they're not disclosing the objective.
What?
I believe that. The fact they're telling us no credible threat, the fact they're saying they will not shoot them down, the fact they're saying they will not put a temporary ban in place, it's pointing to something. And that's not little green men, and it's probably not a foreign enemy. More than likely, we do believe that these are probably our assets that are actually looking out for a potential threat. That's what we want to know.
All right.
Yeah, well, okay. If they can't say it.
Joining us now.
If they can't, dude, Good Morning America consistently has the worst lighting. I don't know how the they haven't been able to figure this out. Every time I see a Good Morning America video, I'm like shocked at how bad their color grading is. It's just so awful. I'm in New Brunswick too, and I'm pretty sure I've seen a plane fly overhead at least once today. I'm scared. Yeah, I know. Humans should have never had the capability of flight. And it's actually kind of crazy that we you know, people are flying overhead like what the hell in a tin can? What is that about?
Now is Mayor Matthew Morello of Washington Township in New Jersey.
I painted the flag of Iran on my drone. And I'm currently flying it outside my 86-year-old neighbor's bathroom window. You're going to kill people, dude. You're going to cause heart attacks. Please don't do that.
You know, state and local law enforcement is precluded by law.
What? Congressman Chris Smith wants to give local cops the authority to shoot at planes if they think they might be drones that just look like planes?
Taking more decisive action, which is why DOD must. They are the ones who have the ability and the authority to act. Congress, yes, and the president, yes, need to move quickly to...
Dude, Americans have two speeds, I swear to God. Burger and shooting guns. That's it. There's no other solution to any problem in this goddamn country. Okay? Everything is burger, gun. Burger, gun. It's either gun or it's burger. Oh my God! The fact that we've been able to dominate the rest of the planet. Oh my God, dude.
Expand state and local authorities, powers. But DOD has it right now. Sheriff Golden wrote me a few days ago requesting legislation to empower the state police to seriously protect at-risk persons and infrastructure, and if necessary, bring down a dangerous drone or drones. I am now drafting that bill and will soon introduce it. I want to thank him for that idea. I'd like to, as many of you know,
I hate to agree with that piece of shit, Adam Kinzinger. It takes the U.S. military 3 to 4 seconds to shoot down an unauthorized drone flying over Area 51. Yet all these monster drones have been allowed to fly over willy-nilly New Jersey for 3 weeks. If you'd like to read more about the drone situation, oh my God. Fake cricket sound effects. What is this? This is like in the late 2000s, DOD needed a response to the threat of dirty bombs from ISIS coming into our ports in New York. Down. This is crazy. Oh. Oh, dude. Is the theory that these drones are nuclear searching drones? What? Oh my God. This is where I come in. The technology these drones use a few suppliers, both for wave equipment and the high purity germanium. The same suppliers that are backbone of my industry. So what are they doing? Collecting information on how public will react, PSYOP, and testing their ability to sweep a poor city like New York for dirty bombs. Jersey was chose because we're the closest port city to New York, and New York will be too dense for reliable wave comms. But why is the DoD silent? Again, because in a scenario we have a threat of a dirty bomb and the public doesn't yet know. The DoD needs to know how the public would react if these were deployed to sweep a city. What many don't realize is Ukraine is the reason we're here. That was the first time we deployed them in a combat zone. But make no mistake, they're for protecting the homeland as DoD bought hundreds of thousands to act as swarms capable of sweeping a city. I gotta let her out. She's going crazy.